back, guys, to another movie review. Today we're talking about Prisoners. It is directed by Denis Villeneuve, and he has also directed films like Incendies and Sicario, Blade Runner 2049, and he's going to be directing the upcoming film Dune. It stars Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Terrence Howard, Melissa Leo, Viola Davis. Big cast here. So I decided to watch this movie a second time the other day because the very first time and the only time that I actually had seen it was in cinemas when it came out in 2013. I really wanted to see if potentially my perspective had changed, and I kind of had an inkling and a desire to watch it after these long many years. This investigative police drama deals with a desperate father who's trying to find his daughter, as well as a detective that we see in Jake Gyllenhaal, who is trying to fulfill and complete his duty and maintain his record of having solved every case he's ever been assigned. After these 8 or so years of films and cinema and me kind of maturing the cinematic palette, I can report happily that this movie still holds up from what I saw in the cinemas, yet it impacted me a little bit differently. What impacted me the most was the cinematography and, of course, the acting that we see on display. However, the story and the development of the characters that we are seeing here are nothing really to write home about. The first time you watch it, it really is a suspenseful tour de force that really grabs you and doesn't let you go until the end of the movie. This is really a gripping experience. It really brings us down a dark maze. We actually see a lot of maze imagery in the film to kind of give us this feeling that we're lost and we're trying to figure our way through this situation that the detective and father have been put in. We follow mostly our two protagonists here, both Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. They have very similar objectives, but different underlying motivations, which allows us to see kind of two sides of the same coin. It works fantastically on an initial viewing, where the unknowing viewer is clamped down upon by the jaws of this gloomy world and the cloudy figures that inhabit it. Whereas on a second viewing, one can look at it and take a step back and just admire the artwork that is Roger Deakins' cinematography, and also the tour de force performances that we are given by this all-star ensemble cast. These are masterful performances done by and given by Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, and even Paul Dano in this film, and I think that that can be exemplified in many of the scenes that we see in this really violent movie. We can really feel the angst and the desperation of Hugh Jackman's character.
And every day, she's wondering why I'm not there to fucking rescue her. All right. Do you understand that? Right. Me, not you, but me! Every day! All right. So forgive me for not going home to have a good night's rest. Now why didn't you look for my fucking daughter rather than fucking...
As well as the desperation and angst of Detective Loki, played by Jake Gyllenhaal. The cast works perfectly, and our two main actors are fabulous. Yet it does lack depth where one might desire. When I first saw this movie, I was totally blown away, and I thought it was practically perfect, but it is not a perfect movie. These characters, as well acted as they are, I would say, a little underdeveloped. We get a little bit of background for the father, who is Hugh Jackman, in that he is this kind of conservative Christian family man living in the suburbs who really feels this deep desire to defend his family. But beyond that, it doesn't go too much deeper below the surface. And with Detective Loki, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, we just know that he really wants to solve this case, and he's obsessed because he solved all of his other cases, and this is all he has in his life, because apparently he has no friends and family. I fully understand that this is a thriller, and it doesn't necessarily need deeper complexity to accomplish its goal. However, with Denis Villeneuve at the helm, I expect mastery, because I think he is one of the best modern directors creating really amazing films today. As a detective thriller that keeps us guessing at every turn, this film works immaculately, and that's really in large part due to the fact that we have Denis Villeneuve at the helm, Roger Deakins' cinematography, as well as amazing performances from the entire cast, but especially our two main protagonists. Still, I think that Denis could have even brought it to higher heights in order to give us a more profound impact that kept our minds ticking for years to come and had us discussing this film for many decades more. It is a grueling, violent, and amazing cinematic experience that gives us a look into this cold, gritty, lived-in world that looks gorgeous and will keep you on the edge of your seat, and if you haven't seen it, you're definitely in for a treat. Meanwhile, it does decide to forego a deeper analysis of the characters that are so wonderfully portrayed by these actors on screen. I highly recommend it. If you have not seen Prisoners, go check it out. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Once again, go ahead, hit like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Leave a comment, let me know what you thought. As always, I'll see you guys in the next review.